Yeah.
Hey, I see on the news today that Friendly's ended up where that property is looking like, huh?
It's looking that direction, yeah.
How would someone go to find city properties the city's looking to sell cheap like that? How would you do it? Where would you look?
Just go down to the comptroller's office. There's a list of all the parcels that are city-owned.
That the city wants to get rid of? I mean,
most of them go up to auction every year. In most cases, properties like this that are encumbered by easements and have problems with them, they generally don't sell, or they may be only of interest to the adjacent property owner. I think that's what the case was here. But, in other words, Friendly's, it looks like they're building a new restaurant, and...
It just reminds me of, it was a couple of years ago, the person bought the land that's on the corner of Butterfield and Sherman Street, and that grass is always up waist high. I don't know why on something like that it wouldn't have just been offered to the people who live on both sides, but they probably would have cut their lawn.
And there are instances where, sometimes people end up with property and they just buy it for whatever reason. They don't have the means or inclination to maintain it. So this was a case after looking at the property and examining it and talking to the Friendly's representatives, and I thought it was the best way to go.
But you don't seem to think that talking to the people that are putting this bar together to find out, make sure that they've got what their plans and they've got proper finance to do it.
Well, obviously I do think that, because I was the one who invited the individual to come to the council meeting to make a presentation so that everybody would be up to speed on it, rather than wait till later. So I would respectfully disagree with your assessment.
Well, I'm just going from what you just said earlier in the conversation, that it wasn't any of your business and you weren't concerned with where they got their financing or what they were doing.
Technically it isn't. That's not to say that I'm not interested in what's going on there. But, I mean, where they got their money, maybe their Uncle Joe gave it to them or something. That's none of my concern.
It's whether or not their Uncle Joe's going to insure the place properly, I guess, is going to be the big question. There's tons of questions I'd have if I was...
There are a lot of questions I have about the whole thing, and
honestly, I'd love to see it open. I'd like to see it thriving. I'm not against this whatsoever. It's just that nobody I know, it's been kind of the water cooler talk, knew there was even a deck there and that the city had anything to do with it, and it was city-owned. It was just one of those things that just comes out of the air. It's like, well, how come this was never...
Right, it came out of the air to me, too. So, in any event, it's there, and we'll see what happens.
All righty, you have a great night now.
Thank you, bye now. Good afternoon, Hotline.
Good afternoon.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I just called on the property there that abuts the Fear property and the Friendly's there.
Right.
What difference would it make what they're doing with the property? I still maintain the fact that when the city acquires property, that they put it out to bid, and the highest bidder gets it, and this is the way it is, and you pay taxes on what your bid was, what the fair value of the property is at the point. I don't see why the city should be getting involved with helping another business expand. If they want that property and they want to expand, then let them pay the price, regardless of whether... It's just the same deal with the property.
First of all, I don't think if you had an auction, you still have to have a four-fifths vote to accept the results of the auction. It was apparent to me that wasn't going to occur.
The other time you guys have property, you put it up for sale. You put it up to bid. But it's certain properties that you don't put up for bid, and that's where you have problems, because you do some things one way, you do some things the other way, and again, it's this old... Watertown type thing that there's no consistency involved. It's like the sidewalk issues, and all that. Well, we're going to make everybody fix their sidewalks, except for the people over here and over here, but you people are going to fix it.
Listen, I know there's dichotomies out there on a lot of issues, trust me.
But
this particular issue...
that issue, that's the point of the issue. Sure, there's extenuating circumstances, but there is with everything. And, it's just like, I'll never forget at the Northside Improvement League, we had a meeting. And there was a property on the corner of Washington and Brook Drive. And one of your city councilmen swore up and down that property could never be sold because a water main went underneath it. There's no way anybody would buy that property. Well, Mike Stratton's really happy with the property.
What's that, the fire station?
Hardware, yeah, that's right. And Mr. Cook said there was no way you could sell it, and I said right at the meeting then, I even quoted the price that they would probably get for it. And sure enough, they did.
Well, the fire station actually was, which was not a fire station at the time it was sold, it had been turned into sort of the
Yeah, a little club. But anyway,
clubhouse.
the point was that they, again, to be consistent, I think any property public property that goes into public hands should be put up to bid. That way you don't have the problem later on. If the adjacent property owner wants that property, let him go and bid on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like that property up there next to Holland LeClaire. The poor woman bought the property not knowing that she couldn't do anything with it. And you guys just said, well, that's tough. Why wasn't the property automatically given to the property owner next door for $1 or something? See what I'm saying? You've got to, if you're going to do it to one person, you do it to everybody. If you buy the property and you can't do anything with it, well, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And why can Friendly's put a parking lot there, but you're saying nobody else could? On the same token, why couldn't I go bid on it and put a putt-putt course there?
Well, I suppose you could.
I mean, if it worst case scenario, you got to dig up and work on that. I guess then.
Now, look, it was a judgment call. It's like, when are they ever going to take down that Griff's building on Outer Coffeen Street that was supposed to come down? When?
Oh, yeah. You might want to ask the legislators that because they're all still there.
Yeah.
And it's been paid already. I'd like to know that too. I'm sure a lot of other people, if they knew about it, would like to know why.
Right.
But yeah, when you're
in this particular case, it was a judgment based on the information available. I have no problem with the original no vote because I took the time. I was requested to go take a look at the property, which I did, and talk to the Friendly's people, both locally and on the phone. Got a look at their plans. They came up and talked to the council last night. I did go over to Mr. Fear's businesses on Thursday. He was not there, and I left a message and didn't hear anything back. And I came to the conclusion by Monday that I would be changing my position on it. I mean, I guess that's why you elect people in office, so that they can analyze situations, because if everything were just automatic or perfunctory, you wouldn't need thinking, rational human beings in office.
Right, but don't you think there should be a uniform, across-the-board policy on what the city does with property that they acquire? Shouldn't it all go up to bid? Then you don't have listen, you can go through time, you can go back to the property on the square, you can go back to all the different parcels that have come and gone and went into certain individuals' hands, and all this and that, and that's what creates problems and unfairness, and it's not fair to the taxpayers. Now, I guess Friendly says, oh, no, well, in that case, we'll pay the $15,000. Well, what if he would offer $25,000? Would Friendly's now say, okay, we'll pay the $25,000?
Yeah.
I mean, you're elected to look after...
Well, and there's a concurrent issue of the people on Haney Street, and I doubt we would ever sell it for the purpose of constructing commercial property fronting Haney, or a commercial building. So, given its location and given the logistics of the lot, I invite you to go over and look at it. And, all I can say is that it was a decision I came to, and I don't like going against my basic core principles, but once in a while you have to look at the circumstances. That's what was done, and I'm convinced that after looking at the circumstances, I'm comfortable with my decision.
As long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
All right. Doesn't matter whether it's right or not. It's just as long as you're comfortable. That's good.
Well, I guess that's the way it is, Steve.
No, I hear you.
You know how it is.
All righty.
Good afternoon, Hotline.